Hello, how are we? So I'm sorry, I didn't realize this went on. Okay, so we had 30 seconds of my quilt. A little bit of dead air, but my quilt. So yesterday, I'm still under the weather. Hi, Melanie. I'm still under the weather. But yesterday we had this bin that was overfilled. Look, now I just have my packaged ones. And then these that are by collection as well, that I just maybe took one or two out. And this is what was left out of this bin that was overflowing. I have a couple of black pieces, dark pieces. This is all I have. And these still might be used. And then I have some, this is actually scrappy binding. See? So I'm actually going to stick this in my scrappy binding. And so that means I have left this empty of all those orphaned 2.5-inch strips. I show your, yes. So I was excited. So what did it say? I'm sorry. I saw your post on Jamie's video. Oh, yes. So I have, hold on. Let me pull this out. This is another pile I have. Hold on. I'm coming. So I was waiting for Jamie's pattern to come out, and it came out, but I was actually on my couch and I wasn't going to start sewing. But I did actually just put this together this morning. So when I took a picture and put a post, it wasn't sewn up. Now it's completely sewn up, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I added this 13 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 by 6. So 13 across, 6 down. And this measures 52.5. And I'm going to put this like this because I really can't bend over. So by 70, is it 72.5? It's either 70, 73. I think it's 73. By 73. I have not, but I have a plan for that. So how I constructed this is, you saw that I took all of my novelty fabrics, and yesterday while we were on the live, I took my novelty fabrics and one that was maybe like a tone on tone, and I just sewed those. Then I left the live and I laid down, rested, and then I worked on some more. You can't sleep, Yael? Is it Yael? Oh, Yaelin. Yeah, I couldn't either. I've been up since about 4 o'clock this morning myself. So I did. I sewed those up. Then what I did is, once I sewed these sets up, I sewed, remember I put the black and gray, you know how I put everything in colors. I put the black, gray, and black and white together, and I decided I was going to do sets of 2 again, either with the black or gray, or black with a black and white, because that's what I had. Thank you, Linda. Good morning. So what I did is, then I went ahead and I cut them all. So here, and I still have a stack. Still have a stack after sewing all that and sewing this quilt. I still have a stack here, and we're going to do something with that. So these are 8.5. Remember I said wasn't sure what I was going to cut them down to, so I cut them down to 8.5. And then I talked about making a 4 patch here, right? And yeah, didn't do that. It was like, that's too much work. We're just going to do a straight strip. So then I took all my ones that were paired with a black and a gray, or a black and a white, and I cut these sections at 4.5. So, and then this, so I have these that are 8.5 inch. These are the 4.5 inch. I took this and this, and I sewed the gray or the black and white to the bottom, and I always had the black on the top. So when I sewed these together, they came to be like this. So this is the unit you use. This unit right here. This is what makes this quilt, okay? So then what I did was I came across here and I put one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down. Then I came here again, up, down, and then I did all that across. 13 across and 6 rows down. And all it started was a bucket of scraps, of 2.5-inch scraps in that bucket. But now I had these 2 extra and this. When I was cutting these and these, there were times that I had extra, right? Because it's a strip set, and some of the strip sets were with the fabric and some weren't. Hi, Rena. So that led to extra, and I did not want to have those extra just random stuff. So I went ahead and cut 4.5 inches, and then once I got one of those, if I still had a little bit, I cut 2.5-inch sets. So I just had these scraps. These are scraps from cutting these out, okay? Then I went also as far as having the black and white. I had only this left because obviously I used them all to pair this. So these are 2.5. And then I would have just extra long tails. So I had 4.5 by 2.5 and 2.5 and 2 by 2.5. These are just going to go in my scrap bins. And the same thing here. I have this and this. But then I got thinking, we just finished this quilt. I have a pile of this and all these like little cut off ends. So I thought this morning we would play. Yes, I thought this morning we would play. So kind of going on that same type of theme of the up and down, except for instead of vertical, I thought maybe we'd go horizontal with this one. And maybe, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm basically using leftovers. So I only have this one, and I have this big stack. So then I got thinking that I'm just going to go ahead and alternate like this. Let me move this over. Okay. And we're just going to alternate this. I don't know what it's going to give us, but we're going to go with it because we have these. We have to use these up. And there's no matching of seams because if you notice, when I sew this to this, there's no seam here. The only time there's going to be a seam is when we put the rows together. So here I am, and I have piles. I mean, I just, who knew that I collected so many jelly rolls, orphans. We'll call them orphans or scraps. I love Autumn. Hi. I'm not sure if I'm going to say your name right. Kyria. Your quilty brain amazes me. I keep trying. Well, I try to just sew up that whole bin. It's just something I like to do every year, and Jelly Roll Day is the perfect day to do it. It makes you, well, it makes me not want to buy a jelly roll, but use my scraps. So we have here, okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what that gives us. I don't know if I have to do 4 or 5. This is how I start designing what I'm doing. I come in here. Okay, we're at 52. But that's without the seam, so we're probably around 50 is my guess. 50, 49, 50. So we're going to do that. And I have more here. Look at this. And so this time we're going to alternate, I think, here. And we're basically, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to set this out. And you're going to watch my madness. And you're going to see how I go by doing this. Okay, so I need a pile of this. And now these two kind of go, so I don't want to do that. So I will put this maybe over here. And I will find something else I may put there. Here, I'll put this here. And I'm going to come to times where I'm going to have things touch, and there's just no way around that because, you know, I'm coming towards the end of using up what I have. So there's a lot of pink in here. So pink forward, pink and turquoise forward, I feel. Here, no, we'll take this one. Hearts. And then we can take another one and put like something like this here. Okay, so let's read. Do you make some jelly rolls of your own with scraps? Yes, Linda. I'm constantly, if there is a cutoff, like I'm making a pattern and there's 3 inches left or 2 3/4 left, I always cut it into a 2.5-inch strip and then I dump it in that bucket. That's why that bucket was overflowing. And I do go in there every time, like I need a 2.5-inch strip. I'm in there all year long. But when it comes jelly roll day, it's time to just bang them out. Last year, I did 3 quilts. 3. They were all given away. I don't have any of them now to show you because they were all given away. But yes, I do. I make my own all the time. Let's see. Let's do this one. And what's nice is you get to kind of see stuff you worked on. Like this is when we worked, this football stuff we used when we did, oh here, sorry. When we did the lap blankets. I mean lap quilts. Listen to me, blankets, quilts. Quilts, quilts, quilts. I don't know why my brain wants to say blankets all of a sudden. So yeah, so I just come in here and I just kind of find, here we go, we'll put this one here, and I just kind of lay out. Now I don't know if I'm going to have enough. If I don't have enough of these, we may add to it. I'm not, you know, this is how I did the other one. I just came in here and played. I'm not sure I'm not sure. Don't touch any links. But I don't see any links coming up. Because I'm not sure what that is. We're just going to, I don't like to do that. I like to give everybody a chance, but I look like there was links. Here we are. And so, yeah, so I'm just coming across, and I don't like that there. So maybe I'll come here and turn this around. You know, the good news is you can play with these on how you think they would lay. Like right here. I'll put that, break up that a little bit. Add a little pop of purple over here. And then I have some wild colors here that, because it's like looking very pink. This would go here. Design Wall is my friend, let me tell you. Put that there and this here. And that's what we're looking at right now. See? And I just keep going. Now, I have, what did I say? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4 across. Because we're going to, what we'll do is, maybe that's what I should do right now. It's just I don't know. Let me, you know what? So I don't keep, we're just going to put this here. And now this is where it goes so that I don't have to piece all these individually. It's beginning to look great. Yeah, I'm going to put this down and see how many down I would need. mock-up of how many down. Let's see. I want to say maybe 13, maybe 12, because it's kind of like the opposite of that other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe not, 11, 12, and 13. So we have 13 that way. So I would need, because I need to figure out, here, I need to use my quilty map. Hold on. Okay, this is where this comes into play. All right, so we have 1 set, 2, 3, 4 sets by 13. Okay, so we have 13 rows by 4 sets. So I need 52 blocks. I need to see if we have 52 blocks. So now that I figured out what I'm going to do, this is going to what I'm set. I know I need 52 of those blocks. So what I need to do is now come here, and I have a pile of blocks here. And I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So I have 30 here, and now I just need 22 more. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, we have plenty. 19, 20. Oh, we have so many. Okay, so now that we know we have this many, I am going to go ahead and mix. I'm mixing these up a little bit more. Here we go. I'm mixing these up, if you're wondering what I'm doing, because, you know, when I cut them in sets, I have multiple like this. All right, so now I have my pile here. I've got my pile here. I've got my pile here. And I'm going to sew. Now, I know I don't have enough in here, but the good news is I have plenty of these that I could pair off, or I could even be jazzy and pair off something like this. But for right now, we're going to do this here. And so this is how I'm using all my pieces, and I call them pieces and parts. And then we have these two that I could throw in there because I have it. We have to use everything up. So we're going to do quilt number 2. We're going to work on quilt number 2. I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to move this camera. Quilt number 2 of this jelly roll bin. All right, here we are. So my mission is to pair this and this together. I have these if I don't have enough of this. And then these are still my leftovers, because we'll maybe use them somehow. Not sure right now. And here we go. I'm going to leave that up there. Here we are. Okay. These are all done. I'm just getting some of my true and false cards. Hi, Giovanna. All right, here we are. I'm going to start sewing, and then I could do some of those. So again, I'm just pairing this now. Instead of with a black and white, I'm pairing it with the other cutoffs. And we're going to go from that. So this one isn't going to have more definition. The other one is going to have the definition because it's black and white. This is just going to be more of a rando type of situation. Here is what this is going to be. But it's going to give us a nice little scrappy quilt when we're done. And I will have processed all those orphans 2.5-inch jelly rolls. So in that case, that's good. And then today, Lisa is having her live at 7 with Dad. So I will be in and out of that. I'm going to probably go down because I have been up in my sewing room since 3:45. So I think I'm going to take a little nap because I'm starting to get a little tired. Oh, here we are. So here we go. I have a true or false for you. You ready? Good morning, Annette. Oh, you have to leave for your infusion. I hope you're going to feel better. Hello, Bob. Good morning. All right. Ready, true or false? Chef Boyardee is a fictional character whose name is an amalgamation of company founders Boyd, Art, and Dennis. True or false? Is it a fictional character? That's basically what they're asking. Is Chef Boyardee a fictional character? True or false? Hello, good morning, Art and Spice. Everything's getting better. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's right. So Giovanna says fake. That's a fake person. Oh, come on. You don't have Chef Boyardee in Italy over there? You know, that's the American Italian treat. That's so not. It is not, but you know. Have you ever tried Chef Boyardee, Giovanna? Is that can you even buy that in Italy? Oh my goodness. So they want to know if Chef Boyardee is a fictional character. Never seen it. You're not missing anything. You are not missing anything. I think Chef Boyardee is the reason why I'm a chef. As a kid, you've had it, right? Well, me too. Hence why I think I went to school to become a chef because I couldn't be tortured anymore. It was that. What was it? Rice-A-Roni, which is actually Rice-A-Roni is not too bad. The San Francisco treat. But Chef Boyardee, the rings, what was that called? The SpaghettiOs. Oh, ravioli in a can. I don't know what they were thinking when they came up with that. Oh my goodness. And you know, in Puerto Rico, that's a big thing. I think that's why I ate it so much. My grandparents bought it and loved it. Oh, girl, no. Mm-mm. Yeah. Most of us had it as kids. Yes. We always thought he was real as a kid. American innovation. That's right. It was. Okay, so I ran out of those two things, but now I'm just going to sew some and then we'll add them to that. And see, this is how you're going to use up your scraps. So we are basically trying to use up all our scraps so that we don't have anything left in that bin. So the answer to this whole Chef Boyardee thing is it's false. He is a real person. Chef Boyardee's real name was Hector. Oh, I'm not going to get that right. It was Hector Boyardee. Berardi. Boiardi. Berardi. Berardi. It's too early in the morning to pronounce that. Hector Berardi. They were close, Chef Boyardee. Oh, we were right. Yes, it tasted like the can. Yes, Norma. Okay, so I have a story. You know, sometimes I do these trivia things and they spur on a story, right? In my head. You know this about me. And when my kids look back, when, they want to hear their mama's voice and hear some family stories, here we go. But actually, everybody in my family knows this. So we were just talking about how we ate this as a kid. And I was just saying how my Grammy used to make this. And so as a kid, after school, they would make it. And they mostly bought their groceries at the bodega. Okay. That's just how it was. That's how people shopped in Brooklyn. It was what they call a food desert. And at the bodega, everything came in teeny tiny little cans at the bodega. And so back in that day, that's when tops that pop open and you pop it and open was a big thing. And so my grandmother, I watched her as a little girl always heating up the can. Okay. And what she would do is she would take the can, pull off the label. All right. And then she'd turn on the stove and put it really low. And then she'd put the can on the stove and she would heat up your SpaghettiOs, ravioli, whatever little thing there was. Back then, there was also like Campbell's soup and the kind of stuff. And so that used to be a treat. When we came home from school, she would heat up whatever me and my cousin would want to eat. Well, as a little kid, I remember seeing her do that over and over. And so then one day she wasn't home. We came from school. Grandpa was home and he was doing something. And my cousin and I were hungry. And they said, oh, grandma's coming. And I thought, I'm going to be a helper and I'm going to help grandma. I was a little older. I don't remember what age I was. Maybe I was 8, 9, maybe even 10. And I remember, I was at that point starting to cook, heat up stuff. And I always was my grandmother's helper for cooking. That's how I know how to cook Puerto Rican food the way I do, because I was always there. I love food. And so the one thing I never noticed my grandmother do was pop the top. So, if you have the little thing, and you know what I mean, it's like a pop top that you pull up. Well, my grandmother would take the top and pop it up. And so the thing would be up. Okay. Are you getting me? Okay. Well, I didn't do that step. And here I am. I pulled off the label and put the can on the thing and had it on low. OMG. That thing exploded. It shot up. So when it heated up, the pop thing literally popped off of that and hit the roof. I can't first of all, my grandfather came running and screaming in Spanish, what's going on? And Andy's like, she did it. She did it. She didn't wait for grandma. I got into so much big trouble. But the color of Chef Boyardee is that orange, right? It's like orange and it is, it's oil and orange, right? So imagine there's ravioli up in the ceiling and falling down, and my grandfather gets the ladder and he's pulling stuff off the wall and cleaning it. My grandmother comes in, she goes, I was gone for 2 seconds. She says, you couldn't wait? And I was like, I was in big trouble. And then, the whole speech, you can't cook by yourself unless you have an adult situation. And so I will tell you that the ceiling had been painted multiple times on that spot. And my kids and I was in my 20s. My kids, you know, when they got older and we would go to grandma's house and blah 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 blah, that story would be brought up. And my kids would look up, and yes, there was orange still. I was in my mid to late 20s, and the orange was still seeping through the color. Just, I don't know what's in Chevrolet, but it's still seeping through the. When they sold the house after my grandmother had passed, this is not my new, you know, my other grandmother. They sold that house with that orange. It's like a faded peach. It started, you know, as the years of putting it on, it got lighter and lighter, but there was still a distinct orangey piece, like color up there. So, yeah, so that is my Chef Boyardee story. I don't think I ever ate any more Chef Boyardee after that. And I think I just really started eating food. Yes, so that would be my first cooking story, probably without supervision. Leanna explodes the Chef Boyardee. So let me go in here and see what this was. It says my mom saved Kool-Aid packages till she got enough to order us four girls little mugs like the Kool-Aid man. We love them. Oh, that's cool. Borgetega in Spanish means shop. Oh, bodega. Yes, and we say bodega with a D. Yucky. LOL. Oh no, no, it exploded. Yes, it did. It sure did. Imagine the stuff in your guts. I know, right? The colors and everything that would possibly happen. I don't know, but I could tell you that yeah, that stain was kept staining right through the paint. Oh, what a good memory. That was funny. Oh, okay. So, now they say that, give me 1 second. I actually have a picture of my grandmother that I did that to. Hold on. I'm back. I am back. So, just so that you know, this, oh, wait. Well, this is what I have right now. So, this here was my grandmother. This actually was my grandmother. So, when she passed away, I took some of the pictures that she had on the wall. So, she had written that I must have given her this collection. She must have put in 1997. That's her handwriting. So that's my grandmother, and she is holding, who is she holding there? She is holding my son, Dylan. My kids looked very similar. She was holding my son, Dylan, my actor. That was my daughter when she was little. And this is my 8th grade graduation picture. Was that my 8th grade? Nope, sorry. Was that my 8th grade? No, I think that's my high school. That's my high school senior picture, actually. High school senior picture right there. So that's my kiddos. And they were little, and me. Oh, good. Yeah. I have another picture I thought I had, which is of my grandmother and my grandfather. I have to find that. It's not out there. It's a little scary because I always have that out where it is. So I'm going to have to look at one spot because some things were moved. And then my honey made me cry yesterday. He came home and he was running errands. I was laying down. I really wasn't feeling well. So he ran all the errands. I watched a live while he was doing that. And he comes home. And so he went estate sailing and yard sailing early in the morning. And he says, look at this. I found this great picture frame. What do you think? And I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's kind of cute. And then didn't think anything of it. So then he says, I'm going to Kingston and I got to go run errands. And then he comes home and we're eating dinner. And then he hands me this. And I was crying. So this is my Grammy. This is who taught me how to sew. So my other grandmother cooked. So that Grammy, she cooked. She taught me how to cook. She did not sew. This grandma taught me how to sew. She did not cook. So there you go. But yes, this is one of our last pictures together. I think was taken over Christmas time this past year before she became ill. And it says, each of us weaves a thread in our family tapestry. And that was it. He did it. Made me bawl. I think I even got in trouble from her with the Chef Boyardee can now that I think about it. Oh my God, I was listening. Let's see, who am I missing? I'm glad you, oh wait, here we go. Too funny. Never had anything Chef Boyardee. I am glad I grew up in Kenya. All natural food, no pesticides or food culinary. Oh, I thought that was just a video. Nice to see a live. Oh yeah, Johnny. my Spanish stories. Oh, thank you for hitting the thumbs up. I was listening, Melanie. How old were you when you had your first kid? I was 20. So my daughter and I are 20 years apart. Yeah, so she's 30 and I'm 50. I got married at 19, engaged at 18. Oh, missed out. Beautiful photos. Okay, so I think I was following the chat and listening. What food did I miss? Oh, the explosion of the Chef Boyardee can that we were talking about. I got myself into all kinds of trouble. All kinds of trouble growing up. My grandmother cooked a lot of things in cans. Like she would take the Campbell's soup can and wash it out, and then she would stick her eggs in the morning. And because everybody liked their eggs differently, like my grandfather liked his soft boiled and like really soft. And then my cousin, I don't remember how he liked his. I liked mine where they were hard boiled almost to the overcooked side. And I just remember having, so it was, you lived in an apartment in Brooklyn. It was a small stove like the one I have in Puerto Rico. And she had the 4 things on with 4 different cans, right, that she had cleaned and washed, and everybody's eggs were in there. And so when in the morning, the stove would have the 4 cans and the different people's eggs in them to cook. Yeah. In my house, everybody's getting scrambled because that's what I'm cooking. Though when my dad was alive, I did always cook him his over easy. He liked over easy, and my grandmother would make his over easy if he came down. But all of us in the morning, we would get an egg, a piece of toast, sometimes a slice of Kraft cheese, and because we all went downstairs. So we all lived in the house together, but 3 different apartments. It was an apartment, like it was a 3 or 4, well, it was 3 floors, but there was like 4 apartments. And my grandmother lived on the first ground floor, not on the basement apartment, but on the ground floor. We lived me and my parents lived in the 2nd floor apartment, and my cousin, who's also an only child, so we call each other brother and sister because we basically raised together, lived on the third, and then my my other uncle lived elsewhere. So, yeah. So there was grandma did all the cooking. I think she even did all the laundry for the whole house too. uh, I have headphones on. I didn't miss the cooking story. Good morning, Nikki. Oh, exploding lid, all too funny. She made me crack up. And I mean, because I've done some crazy stuff. That was the craziest cooking story I have. I will say that. Um, and I'm working on jelly roll made of quilt number 2 here. Oh, oh man, dude, really? Well, go find somewhere else to do that. I'm sorry. Did anyone read this comment? Maybe he was a Chef Boyardee lover. Oh my God, I just can't. I can't with the trolls today. Who knew? Chef Boyardee not only stains your ceiling, but it can turn you on. Oh my gosh. Only in this chat would we get something like that. Yes, Giovanna, I could have. That's why I got into really big trouble. I could have killed my cousin. I could have set the house on fire. Believe me. I know. Oh my God. Good morning. That's all right. Yeah, yeah. It's I can't even anymore. I just can't. But at least I got a good chuckle from the person. Oh, it snapped me out of being a little sad after showing you guys my picture with Grammy. But yeah, so there you go. So look, I have now processed all those strips are going into this quilt and these little cut-offs that I had extra. And you know, some of these were also pieces that were in that 2.5-inch strip bucket that were not even 8.5 inches long. So I had to cut them down and use them. Oh boy. Hi, Quilting Frog. How are you? And we've got a little bit, we got about less than 10 minutes before Lisa the Awkward Quilter goes on. So I've got those. I love to just take a bucket and be creative. Best cooking story ever. I knew only my Granny Elna from Mom's side. Yeah, he did make me laugh. Apparently he was having fun with himself and he had to let us all know that. Okay. So let's go on to something else. Let's go on to another question. True or false? Yes, Melanie. True or false? Nylon was named for a conflation of New York and London. Nylon was named for a conflation of New York and London. True or false? She used to cook a lot and loved her fish soup. So my grandmother never made fish soup. I will tell you who made the fish soup. My grandfather. My grandfather made the fish soup. He was famous for his fish soup. I actually loved his fish soup. And if we were sick, my grandmother would make Puerto Rican chicken soup. But if we were like really ill, he was making us fish soup. And yes, he used the heads with the eyeballs and all. At least that's how they used to do it back then. So we have true, never heard of that. False, false, false. Delicious, yes. Though as a kid, I will say before, maybe that's why I was a chef, it didn't bother me, but like my sibling, my cousin was not eating no fish soup. He did not like the idea of these fish heads floating in water staring at him. He was like, nope. So the answer, you ready? The answer is it's false. DuPont stated in 1940 that the name was chosen to sound like rayon and other natural fibers. It's all edible. Just the thought of it. Yes, I know. Oh, I know. I would just have the broth. I just always told Grandpa, you don't put a head in my bowl because he would put heads on the bowl the broth. I just drank the broth. All right. So that was interesting, right? That was a fabric. That was kind of like a fabric thing. A fabric question. Okay, now this is not a fabric question. This is actually funny because we had just finished talking about fish soup, and sure enough, I have a fish. Let's see. Show. I hit show. There's a lot of meat in the head. Hello, new here. Hi, Morgan. I stopped for the sewing, stayed for the chat. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have a lot of fun here. Going to switch from tablet to phone. And here we go. Ready? Not all piranhas, talking about fish, not all piranhas are man eaters. Only a few of the 12 known species are. Not all piranhas are man eaters. Only a few of the 12 known species are. And all I can now, oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy. Isn't that the man-eating song? She's a man-eater. So, yeah, so are piranhas man-eaters? I guess I'm glad they're not women eaters. But okay, so true. Oh, you never know what happens here, Norma, in the chats. If you think we're crazy sometimes here, you should go see Lisa, the awkward quilter. She comes on at 7. There's always some good, funny chat going on over there. There really is. Not gonna test the theory. Yeah, I'm not gonna test the theory either. But when we play my survival game, we'll test the theory. We are always testing the theory. Oh, man. But now that man-eater song is stuck in my head because of that question. Here we are. Put this one with this. We might have to move to 4 patches because I have a couple. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I like these. Look at this. That's cute. This cat. I'm going to use this in there. My sister has a piranha in her pond. Oh. So you go test it out and let us know if you taste tasty to them. All right. So the answer is true. Not all piranhas are man-eaters. Only a few of the 12 known species are. That's a true statement. It says here, the red-bellied piranha has a powerful bite and sharp teeth that can sever a finger or a toe. Yikes. Okay, and our last one before I have to go. Ready? I like this one. Is the dark side of the moon is permanently cast in shadow. The dark side of the moon is permanently cast in shadow. All right. I'm collecting all of these because I'm taking it down so that I can put up. We have oh wait, here we go. Man eaters, but I read many don't like human blood. Ooh, that's interesting. Just like the sharks, they don't like human meat, but they sure like to bite them. All right, so I'm taking these down. I'm going to put these on there. And then what I'm going to do, but not on this live because I have to leave this live soon, is I'm going to take these 2 patches and maybe throw these in and make them into 4 patches and replace them with this, because we're using everything up. This quilt here is, I don't want to call it a garbage quilt because it's not a garbage quilt. It's going to look beautiful, but it's going to be all the odds and ends. That's what we're going to call it, the odds and ends quilt. There's no rhyme or reason quilt, okay? Only because they look like seals on the surface. All right, so the answer to this before I say goodbye is, it is false. Only about 2,300 square miles of the moon's south pole is in permanent darkness. And with that said, my mama's coming tomorrow. So I believe I'll be live as long as I'm feeling okay. Please, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. It will help me out so much. And thank you for spending your morning with me. And I will see you over for a little bit at Lisa's channel. It starts at 7. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share my channel out to everyone. Everyone have a fabulous day. Bye.